career.
Oh, yeah.
There he is.
Wow.
The legend. The Hall of Famer Davy Hite started that fantastic career of his right here on Lake Eufaula. Ranked today in all the days you've spent on Eufaula. And you're with Drew Cook, we were told as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to be out here. A lot of history here, not just for myself, but for the history of B.A.S.S. here at Lake Eufaula. I love this place for obvious reasons, but it's super exciting. And, normally I'll come out and be on the lake and before the guys come out and don't just run wide open throttle. But this morning I decided to go with Keith Combs right at takeoff, and we ran like 25 miles wide open throttle. So very exciting for me and Ashley this morning. But this is a great lake, no doubt about it. What's interesting to me this morning, not seeing the shallow bite play as much as maybe we thought. The water's high and got a lot of color in the water. There will be some guys that catch good stringers shallow, but I haven't been around any of those guys yet this morning. The guys that I have been around, they've been catching fish, the Drew Benton, Drew Cook. They're fishing offshore, but back in creeks, not seeing as many people, a few people out on the main river channel itself, but some of the guys that really made hay this morning are fishing offshore, but back in these main creek channels like Patala and White Oak, those kind of places.
Davey, real quick, for somebody that's at home that maybe doesn't bass fish a lot or understand cover and structure, a lot of these guys, like we're looking at Seth Feider right now, it looks like they're in the middle of the lake. Describe the stuff that they're actually targeting and throwing at.
Well, there's so much cover and structure out on this lake, and what we had a few years ago at Eufaula was a lot of hydrilla, and it really got the population of fish really higher than it had been in quite a few years. But the hydrilla's gone now for all the heavy rains and the tropical storms, that sort of thing. The high dirty water has basically eliminated 99% of the hydrilla. I have seen just a little bit of hydrilla here, so they're targeting brush piles on these offshore spots and just some main river ledge also. So those fish want to relate to the deeper water, and then they move up during the day to feed on these spots. And timing is so important here this week, because those fish are not just staying up there because of the high water, and they're not running water until about midday or so. So those fish will back off, and then they'll move back up on those brush piles to feed or on those ledges. So it's real important timing. You hear a lot of guys saying the best bite was early in the morning, but then some guys say, man, I don't catch them very well early in the morning, midday. So it's going to be interesting to see that unfold throughout this tournament. Several of the guys that I expect to do really well did not get a good start this morning, but they said they were catching those fish up in the day on the brush piles.
Davey, you were one of the anglers that your career was founded on throwing big baits, but it was high risk, high reward. It was always catching quality, way bigger bass than catching quantity. Kind of tell the viewer at home right now that that's a mindset, not going after those smaller bites that could be up on the bank or just using smaller baits.
Well, you're exactly right, Z. And I was a high-risk type fisherman, but I was all about, being competitive and trying to win. And when you try to win, sometimes you're going to lose. You're going to lose a lot more times than you're going to win against this competition. But it's so important on a good fishery like this not to get distracted, so to speak, with a lot of smaller fish. There's spotted bass here that you can pull up on some places and literally probably catch 50, 60 fish, but they'll be spotted bass and may only be a pound and a half average. Those fish are going to do you no good here. We talked to Drew Cook earlier this morning. He says, I've got 17, maybe 18 pounds. I don't think I'll be in the top 15 with that weight. So you've got to try to swing for the fence, so to speak. I know we use that a little too much, but on a lake like Lake Eufaula, you've got to do that. And I'm so excited to see it unfold here this week, because we're going to see different guys move up and down the leaderboard as each day progresses.
Davey, super interesting stuff. Great to have you on the water with us out there today, and we look forward to visiting with the great Davy Hite, who started in 1994. His big win that he said I absolutely had to have if I was going to fish for a living.
He likes to be